What is going on, guys? Eagle Aquatics back here. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about one of the most controversial topics in the reefing hobby today, being, should I start with dry rock or live rock? Before we get started, be sure to head on over to my Instagram at Eagle Aquatics, no spaces, no caps, for exclusive content not shown on my channel. The link is in the description. So that's cool. And then, okay, so in this video, I'm going to be going over the pros and cons of both types and ultimately my opinion on which type of rock is best for you and starting your new reef aquarium or saltwater aquarium. Let's start with live rock and the pros of using it in your reef. Now, the absolute biggest reason somebody will usually buy this live rock to start out is because it already has all the bacteria and little creatures, copepods, amphipods on it. This in turn will cycle your reef tank almost instantly when you add it, because this rock is carrying all the essential ingredients, if you will, to start and finish the cycle very quickly. A lot of people get anxious and want to add fish and coral as fast as possible when they first get the tank. So they in turn go and spend the big money for live rock so they can get started faster and add stuff faster. And I will admit this is a very, very big positive with live rock. Live rock also comes already looking good with all the algae and different colors on it, like coralline algae, purple, red algae, green stuff. It's pretty cool looking, and it's already covered the whole rock. So you're not starting out with like white dry rock. This makes the aquarium look really natural to start off also. However, there's a huge price to pay if you want to get your tank cycling fast and easy. This live rock is very expensive because most of it comes straight out of the ocean. You'll usually wind up paying around $7 to $10 per pound. That is a lot of money for live rock at most stores. You may be able to find it cheaper online, not sure. That's what I've come to notice from my local fish stores. Live rock is also a lot heavier than dry because all the water that it's already absorbed into it, which drives up the weight and also the price in turn. You guys all know that pound of rock per gallon rule. That's the rule for most reef tanks and stuff like that. If you get a big tank, you're looking at possibly over somewhere around $1,000 for like a 100-gallon tank or something like that, 90-gallon. To me, it's not worth it by any means. Honestly, I wouldn't spend that much money on live rock. It's not worth it. The other thing, live rock is notorious for carrying hitchhikers, aka pests and invasive species, on it and inside of it. Most of the hikers are good. Most of the hitchhikers are good, like brittle stars, serpent stars. There's some species of coral you could find on it. Coralline algae, of course. There's a lot of little feather duster worms sometimes, and other types of worms. There's sometimes urchins, sea cucumbers. There's some species of snail that could be inside of it. But there can also be possibly devastating species of hitchhikers in the rocks, like Aptasia the pest anemones, some species of algae like hair algae, bubble algae, fireworms, flatworms, coral-eating worms. There are other ones that are good but an eyesore most of the time, and are most common being bristleworms, of course. That's probably the most common hitchhiker, and mini stars, also the tiny sea stars. They're kind of invasive. So overall, live rock is great if you want a very natural looking reef to start out, and a very healthy and fast cycling aquarium. But if you don't want to pay the premium for this stuff, or don't want to take the risk of hitchhikers entering your reef tank, then there's definitely a better option for you, in my opinion, works just as good as live rock. Given it has a little more time to start, and that's where the dry rock enters the picture. Now, this is another form of rock you can use in your reef tank, only this stuff is dry or dead, It has no living bacteria or algae on it. There's nothing on it. It's just completely sterile rock, and it's cool. Now, in my opinion, I find this to be the best to start off with dry rock for several reasons. The pros of using live rock is, number one, it is considerably cheaper than live rock and can save you a ton of money. This stuff only ranges from, I looked up bulk Reef Supply, what they charge. Reef Saver rock, dry rock is only $2.50 a pound, all the way to like Tonga Branch stuff and stuff like that, going to like $5 a pound. That's all. You also get a lot more for your money, considering this stuff is not soaked in water, and which is weighing down live rock. There are also many different types and shapes of dry rock, so you could pick the type of look you want to build your structure out of. You could pick the style rock you like. There's a bunch of different styles, which makes it a lot more fun to aquascape with. It's pretty cool. There's even a type of dry rock that already has supposed dormant bacteria and coralline algae on it, and it is already purple in color, which is pretty cool. That stuff, it pretty much looks like live rock, except it's dry. A lot of this rock is actually mined out of the ground, and this is the driest, cleanest rock you can buy on the market, and also the cheapest. This type of dry rock is called Reef Saver, and it happens to be my favorite looking rock, and also the easiest to build with. The rock also comes with absolutely zero pests of any kind on it, so you don't have to take the risk of introducing anything bad in your tank, in your reef tank, like live rock does. This rock being dry, it also gives you a lot more time to aquascape your tank without water in it. So you can take your time getting the perfect formation, which is a huge plus for me, because that's what I plan on doing with my 125 gallon. The only real downside to dry rock is that it takes longer to cycle in your tank than live rock does, which is why a lot of people like live rock better. In my opinion, you should either way give your tank a few weeks to a month to cycle, even if you do go with live rock. I just believe it is a lot more beneficial to the tank in the long run. Now you could do stuff to make your tank cycle faster with dry rock, like adding a type of live nitrifying bacteria like API Quick Start, or that Colife, or something that's like Biospira or something, or some kind of biological media from an existing tank you have, one that's just like floating around in the sump. Throw some of that in your new tank, and you'll introduce the bacteria right away. But this is the only real downside to dry rock I see. And even if you should be letting your tank cycle longer, either way, no matter what rock you use, honestly, I would let your tank cycle for a couple weeks to a month. Honestly, that's what I do. You know, in my opinion, dry rock has live rock pretty much beat in every way. When you compare them both, I believe it is the best choice to go with, both financially and aesthetically. And after all, this dry rock will eventually turn into live rock anyway. This is why I'll only ever use dry rock in my reef tanks. I just believe it's better, and I like all the different types and uniques. It's really cool stuff. Well, there you go, guys. My opinion on the most controversial topic in the reefing hobby today, choosing whether you should go with dry rock or live rock. So what types are you guys running in your tanks? Leave a comment down below. Hope you guys found this video to be interesting, and hope this helps you guys pick the right rock for your tanks. Give me suggestions for future videos in the comments. I will make a video on what you request, if possible. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Go to Eagle Aquatics on Instagram, and I'll see you next time.